But it's now really exciting to bring on another guest as we wind up Women's History Month, and that is Daria Davenport Powell, the CEO of Visions Work. Darla, welcome to Let's Talk.
I am so excited. Hats off to Queen McKnight and Deborah Shore for the work that they are doing. First of all, thank you, Denise, for inviting me to share my story on Let's Talk today. I would be remiss if I didn't pause to pay tribute to your parents, the late Dr. Calvin Rolark, who founded the Washington Informer, and your bonus mom, attorney Wilhelmina Rolark, who was the president at the time. They saw a need in our community 60 years ago.
Yes.
And they filled it. And you are continuing that legacy, my sister, in such an innovative and powerful way. So I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Darla. I mean, I miss you.
I miss you too.
You're out there on the West Coast now, right?
No, I'm back on the East Coast. I'm in my hometown, Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
We've been here for 2 years. I'm working on a dissertation. We'll talk about that later. So no, I'm back on the East Coast.
Well, tell us what you've been doing. I mean, it's from the very first creation, your doll. Introduce us to her.
Well, I want to start right where we are right now.
Right now. That's fine.
That is with the Bell Affair movie. It was released on March the 26th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's streaming on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon, and it's available for rent or purchase. And it's based on Dr. William G. Thomas's book that he released in 2020 called Question of Freedom: The Families Who Challenged Slavery from the Nation's Founding to the Civil War. And Dr. Thomas, he's a researcher and co-writer on the film, which is also co-written by my homegirl and directed by Dr. Wakito Dreher and produced by Michael Burton. And they all are professors at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And a little bit about the story. It's about the Bell family who were enslaved in Prince George's County. Eventually, they lived and worked in Washington, D.C. at the Navy Yard. They went to court 7 times, including the Supreme Court, to win their family freedom. And they knew the law, and they strategized that same law that enslaved them to win their freedom. And the thing is, Lucy Bell, the matriarch, the role that I play, she and her son, Daniel and Ann, they were free, whereas Daniel's wife, Mary, and their children were not. And that was until the widow of the slave owner rejected a deed of manumission, because the slave owner signed that deed for Mary and her children to become free. But his wife rejected the deed, and that's where the plot unfolds. And Daniel, my son, was determined to have all the family free, because none of us were free until all of us were free. And as his mother, I knew it would be a life or death situation if the plan had failed. And I love this line in the movie where I said, Daniel, you know, this freedom making business is some hard business. Do you have what it takes, son? Do you have it? And it ended up on April 15, 1848, where 77 enslaved people boarded a schooner called the Pearl, which pushed off of a wharf on 7th Street and headed up the Potomac. And there were 11 members of the Bell family on board. And I'll leave the rest for your audience to look at the movie. But it is really a masterpiece. And I was so grateful to be a part of that wonderful cast.
As parts of the story, I think we know, Darla, but maybe not about the Bell family. How did you come across this story, or how did the producer come across this story?
Well, Dr. William Thomas, as I said, he researched. His research led to about a couple of 100 families. Yeah, 100 families going to the court system to win their freedom. And so, by being a researcher and him partnering with Dr. Wakito Dreher and also Michael Burton, they formed a production company, and they released this movie along with Anna and some other movies. And I auditioned for the role and landed the role.
I mean, that's what's so exciting to me, because the fact that we know that you're, what you call a mompreneur, a toy inventor, drummer, scholar, and actor and author. You know, you're carrying a lot of hats, so which is wonderful, and they're all creative. So, I mean, tell us about that journey. How did you get from, as I said, remembering you at Union Temple Baptist Church here in DC, and then all of those things that you've added to your plate?
Well, the journey in terms of the mompreneur started over 40 years ago. Naya will be 41 this year.
Oh, no.
And yeah, 41, she will be 41, Denise. And that's when our daughter was born. And my husband and I, we went looking for dolls that looked like Naya and looking for books that reflected our culture and that would reinforce the skills that we were teaching her. And we didn't find any. So that started the journey of my creating my publishing company, High Hopes Publishing, where we released the Here Comes Naya book,
right,
and audio tape, and you did a wonderful story on it. And it spoke about the day in the life of a toddler who was discovering her world with her parents there to guide her. And at the time, I wanted to release a doll at the same time, but I didn't have the money. And my mother, Denise, worked at Horseman Doll Factory for 20 years.
Wow.
And I'll never forget it. She was laid off. They had sold the factory. She was laid off. And she had $2,000 that she was going to spend on a washer and dryer. And she knew that I was looking and trying to publish this book. And she ended up giving me the $2,000 to publish Here Comes Naya, and the rest is history.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Great story, great book. But, you know, you didn't stop there. I mean, now you did toys. Tell us about that, how this ended up on your plate.
Well, we did our first Naya doll in 1990, and she's the first African-American doll to speak Spanish, Swahili, and English. And we wanted to have a doll that spoke Swahili because in schools, of course, we learn Spanish, we learn French. Well, what about the African languages? So we wanted to introduce children at an early age to an African language. So we created the Here Comes Naya doll. And from that doll, we went on the show called the American Inventor Show in 2000, where we got a chance to expand from one doll to 6 more dolls, Naya and her friends. In 2010, we went to the ABC Toy Fair, and we expanded even more with Naya and her global friends. And then we came out with the paper dolls, you know, and so we've been adding on and on and on. And then we came out with the I Am Enough doll series as well. So we went from 1 doll to now 12 dolls.
Darla, where can we get these dolls?
We are still looking for funding. That's the thing about it. With all these years, we have been looking to partner or for someone to license all that we have. So we're still at it, Denise. Okay. We're still at it. What we've been able to do, we've been able to keep the publishing end going, and that Naya and I, we co-authored Naya and the Clubhouse Crew a couple of years ago. And then Naya went on and published her own book, What Princess is Like, because Naya now has a Nyla. And so the legacy continues. So we have the books, we have the CDs, and we have the empowerment t-shirts, the I Am Enough empowerment t-shirts. But we are still looking for, you know, a partner or someone to license all this wonderful, wonderful, we call it the Here Comes Naya ecosystem. And
the books are available where?
They're available on the website, www.niyakids.com.
Okay.
Niyakids.com.
Okay. All right. I'm glad. Yeah. Let's do it one more time because we want to put it up on the screen.
www.niyakids.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And the graphics and who does all the graphics and the storytelling?
Well, in terms of the graphics, we had a wonderful, wonderful artist from Ukraine, Nina, to do our graphics for Naya and the Clubhouse Crew. For the We Are Friends book, my beautiful friend, Suzanne Mills-Winkler, who I've worked with since 2000, she and her team did the illustrations for the We Are Friends book, and also for the CD, We Are Friends CD.
Nice, nice. So, Darla, I mean, your whole career has been focused on inspiring, I think, particularly brown girls, children, to do things, right? I mean, you and your daughter are working together now. There's a Nyla that's working together. But why is this so important to you, and why have you dedicated your life to, trying to inspire kids? And what is it you would want to see happen as a result of, reading the books and listening to the CDs and maybe eventually getting the dolls? What is it? What difference are you trying to make?
It's all about authenticity. It's about representation. It's about inclusivity. And our motto, Denise, is that all children deserve to see themselves authentically represented in the books they read, the toys they play with, and the media that they watch. All children deserve to see themselves authentically represented in the books they read, the toys they play with, and the media that they watch. As a television producer, my approach to creating is to create engaging and impactful content that centers around authenticity, diversity, and empowerment. And I do this through storytelling, interactive elements, educational components, because what I want to do is not just to entertain, but to inspire and empower young viewers to embrace their identities and reach their full potential.
And what is the hope and expectation for the film? I mean, now that you can put actor under your belt, I mean, and telling those kinds of stories. I know this was one you auditioned for, but where do you see that going, the film itself and your career in the field of film and, producing films?
Well, acting is all about stories and connecting with people. Mm-hmm. So whether it's on stage or in front of the camera, those skills like empathy, communication, seeing things from different angles, so my thing is I want to encourage others to find whatever that thing is that they have been gifted with and to be able to exhaust it. Communication is one of my things. So whether I'm communicating by way of drumming, whether I'm communicating by way of acting, my hope is to encourage, inspire, and to educate.
And what's next for Darla Davenport Powell?
To finish this dissertation. That's what's next. To finish dissertation or practice. I'm doing a study on social emotional learning and young girls, and I'm measuring self-awareness, competence, and confidence. And I'm looking to have that study to really, really, I was going to say it's going to really be my educational television series. So now I have the data behind what I've been doing for 40 plus years. So that's what's next, to finish this dissertation of practice and to turn it into an educational television series for children.
Well, wonderful. I was so happy to, as I was scrolling through LinkedIn, True Confessions here, and came across, the announcement of the film and all the things that you're doing. I said, let me reach out to Darla. This is Women's History Month, and you have made such an impact in many ways. And so I'm glad that you could find some time to carve out to be with us today and to talk about your many, many projects. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. May I shout out my grandchildren? First it was about my children, but now it's about my grandchildren. I have 4 now, Rocco, Eric, Nyla, and Naomi. And I just want to say that, I take my cues from them and other children in terms of creating this content. So it's like a co-constructive kind of thing. So I want to shout them out now for being, the inspiration in terms of my continuing this journey.
Well, I can't wait to meet them. I don't even, I wouldn't even recognize Nyla when I see it, Naya when I see her. So at 41, but she was a blessing, and now she's blessed you 4 times.
Well, 3 times, because my son Nigel, he has
forget about your son. Yes.
I have 2 sons, Nigel and Naeem and Naya.
Right. Okay, you are busy.
Well, no, it's really productive. I don't consider myself busy. I work with intentionality, so I'm not busy, but whatever I have been given whatever my hands have been assigned to do, I consider it an honor. And it's an honor to be here with you today. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, of course, you'll put the website and the email up. But I just want to encourage you, for just like I said, for just keep on keeping on. You know, you do a marvelous work in our community. We are blessed by everything that you and your family that you have done and that you're getting ready to do. So God's blessings on you.
Thank you so very much, Darla. I appreciate it. It's been great talking to you. Good to see you.
Good to see
and
you.
I'm going to keep following you, and I'm going to go see that movie. Go get that movie so that I can get you some feedback on. I just can't wait to see the story. So thanks a lot for sharing.
Excellent. Thank you for my time here.
All righty. Have a good one.